In this lecture, we're going to parent our modeled parts to our rigid bodies. As you can see, this is not real exciting. If we turn on our modeled parts, they don't move. So let's change that. This is pretty easy. So I'm going to do the body first. So come out here in the outliner and right-click on the body collection and say Select Objects. And then you want to shift select the body, rigid body, which I can see right here, and do Control P, Object, Keep Transform. All right, now when you hit play, the body and all the people and everything connected to the body moves like it should. All right, let's turn off the body and let's do our front and rear suspensions. Actually, before we do that, this front steering axle thing, that should be parented to the body too. So select it, and then the body, rigid body, say Control P, and just do that. All right, let's do our front suspension. So I'm gonna hide the ground, and then I'm gonna just click in here until I get the wheel. There's the modeled wheel. Then I'm gonna shift select the tire, and then I'm just gonna click in here again to get the modeled or the rigid body wheel. And you can tell what the last one is you selected over here, and it has an underscore, so we know that it's the rigid body. Now you can say Control P, Keep Transform. Let's do the same thing for the rear wheels. I'm going to click in here, there's the wheel. I'm going to try and select the tire. I have the tire, and then the rigid body wheel. Control P. Okay. Same thing over here. Select the wheel, the tire, and the rigid body wheel. All right. So that's all good. Now we just need to parent pretty much everything else to this trailing arm. So I'm going to select the trailing arm. I'm going to select the exhaust. I think this is the intake actually. The intake, the exhaust, the brake, which is right here. Then we have an axle on each side. And I think the last thing is the engine. And then the last thing you want to select is the trailing arm rigid body, and then do Control P. All right, so that should be everything, hopefully. Let's see if all that moves. So save it and press play, and it looks like everything's moving. All right, so now we can turn on our body. We can unhide our ground plane, and we can turn off our rig, go back into our camera view, and now we can drive it around. We don't see the ugly pieces, I guess. So I'm gonna, although we still need our controller, which you can select in the outliner here, I'm gonna turn that on and off, cycle that on and off to make sure to reset the simulation, and then press play, and now we can drive it around.